Hello. I've just got back from the cinema after watching a Minecraft movie. By the time you're seeing this video, it's probably not the night I'm recording this video, it's probably the day after. I wanted to record this video after I watched the movie in cinema because my mind is still fresh after watching the movie. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow where it was a little bit, faded after what I just witnessed. First of all, let's just start with what I thought of the movie as a whole, and then we'll break down whether it's what parts I would have changed or what parts I really enjoyed or what parts were shit. We can start with my rating right away. I'm going to give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. I didn't think it would be as good as it was, but it was. I'll get more into all that later, but right now I want to talk about the parts of the movie I didn't really like or that I would have changed. So first of all, the whole story of the movie, I would have changed. If I was directing this or producing this or whatever and it was up to me, I would have made it Steve, Alex, discovering the Minecraft world and then trying to survive and killing the Ender Dragon. And then the end credit scenes would be them jumping into the portal after killing the Ender Dragon and then the credits roll. That would have been my Minecraft movie. Obviously, that's not what has happened. Hello, this is Editing Jack, and it turns out there was a post-credit scene after the Minecraft movie. I didn't stick around until after the credits, so right now I'm going to show you the post-credit scene, and it is Steve, lo and behold, meeting Alex.
Hi, sorry to bug. I used to live here, and I'm Steve.
Oh, is this about that chest in the attic?
Oh, yeah! I'm so glad that's still around.
Hey, you want to come in? I'm Alex, by the way.
Alex, great to meet you.
Before I go any further, I should mention there will probably be spoilers in this video. So the movie pretty much consisted around all 5 of these characters. You had Jason Momoa, who played Garrett Garrison. You had Emma Myers, who played Natalie. You had obviously the one and only Jack Black, who played Steve. You had Daniela Brooks, who played Dawn, and Sebastian Eugene Hansen, who played Henry. The movie starts with Steve telling the audience how he yearned for the mines when he was younger.
As a child, I yearned for the mines.
But there was no kids allowed in the mines, so after he grew up and got a bit older, he eventually went to the mines and he found this little blue cube and he found this kind of holder for the cube, and when he put them together, it opened this portal, which was the portal to the Minecraft world. And he went there and he lived for a bit, and then he discovered the Nether.
Flint and steel. The Nether.
And he went into the Nether with his dog, and basically the ruler of the Nether, this damn pig woman, decided to capture Steve and his dog and steal this kind of crystal block. Then very quickly they both got out of prison, retrieved the block, and Steve sent his dog Dennis away to go and hide the block, where Steve then remained in prison and it cut off. And then we got introduced to the characters one by one. Obviously Jason Momoa, who played Garrett, who was like this he went by the name Garrett the Garbage Man.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Who was like this kind of video gamer who was popular when he was a kid and he was still trying to be cool as a grown-up, but he wasn't. And then you had Natalie and Henry, who were brother and sister, who had just moved into their own house. I can't remember what happened. Honestly, something happened with their mum and then they had to go and live by themselves. And then when they got there, I think the person who owned the house was Dawn, and that's kind of how we were introduced to all of the characters. And then Henry met Garrett, and then Garrett had to pretend to be Henry's uncle to go and pick him up from school because he launched a jetpack that then crashed into the building that Natalie worked at. And then because Garrett was with Henry, Natalie couldn't find Henry, so then Natalie and Dawn went off looking for Garrett and Henry, and then lo and behold, they all ended up in the mines together and they found the portal. How did they find the portal? Because they found the cube. How did they find the cube? Because Garrett bought out this goddamn, storage that had the cube in it. How did that have the cube in it? Honestly, I can't remember. After Dennis took it out of the Nether and went into the real world, he hid it under Steve's real-life bed, and then next minute, it's in a storage unit. Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention at that part, but that's what I remember. So anyway, they go into the world and they try and survive in Minecraft for a little bit, but it doesn't really work. They get attacked by zombies, all this bahooey. And then they run into Steve right before they're about to get mauled by zombies.
Who are you?
I am Steve.
And it turns out while they were being chased by zombies, before Steve came to save the day, Garrett had stood on the little container used to put the cube in. And without the container, the cube is useless. It doesn't work. So the entire movie was based around these characters going, and they had to get to, I can't remember, some sort of mansion, which is in the Minecraft game. I'll put a picture up of it here. But that was in the movie, and they had to get there so they could get another holder for the cube. And once they did, they could then open a new portal and get home. But this damned Queen Piggy of the Nether didn't want that to happen, and she wanted the cube for herself so she could basically take over the normal world, as in the normal Minecraft world, and kind of make it into the Nether. So that was the story we got. Like I mentioned, I would have rather just Steve and Alex surviving in Minecraft and then eventually going to the Nether and then going to the end. I thought it would have been much better. Whether or not it should have been live action is another story. If it was live action, I think they should have used different casting. You know, if you look at Steve in-game, he's like a kind of young guy, brown short hair, not really got a beard. And then you look at Jack Black and he's got long-ish hair and a grey beard. And he's a bit chubby because he's old. However, if they were doing a voice acting movie, I don't see a problem with Jack Black being Steve. I think even, you know, even though the looks weren't all there in this movie, I think the voice of Steve fitted Jack Black pretty well. Or the voice of Jack Black fitted Steve really well, I mean. And as for the other characters that were mentioned, I don't know why they were there. Like, obviously I know why they were there, because there would be no story or script otherwise without these characters. But I don't know why they felt like they should make these new characters to make like, obviously the movie felt like Minecraft because of the look and all that stuff, but these characters aren't even in Minecraft to begin with. So I was a bit disappointed on that front, but I was even more, not really disappointed, but confused on the story with Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge was the principal at Henry's school, and she didn't really have a story. She was just like, she was a side character. And then one of the villagers escaped into the real world. And then she hit him with her car and then they fell in love. I just didn't understand why that was part of the movie. However, the movie was very well made. It was entertaining. And Jack Black was a good Steve. He was very funny. You know, a lot of the things he said, he would like say them differently for some reason. Like chicken, he would say chicken.
Chicken jockey!
You know, just the classic Jack Black. And I also want to mention, there was this like group of teenagers that were there in the cinema, and every time one of the memes would come on, they would clap. I just thought it was pretty strange, you know, like Chicken Jockey and Flint and Steel. Every time these scenes came on, they would clap. It was very weird. So as someone who played Minecraft when I was a kid, am I satisfied with how the movie was made? Yeah, I am. I'm not completely satisfied with the story. It didn't have anything to do with Minecraft. But the look of the game, or the movie, sorry, it looked like the game. There was no Ender Dragon in the game, which is pretty disappointing. There was no, what do you call it? The Wither, whatever you call it. I haven't played Minecraft in ages. But there was none of him in it either. Closest we got to this sort of thing was Iron Golems, and they actually made a new design of an Iron Golem for the movie. He had like boots that would make him run really fast, and he was huge, and he was kind of overpowered. Which I don't have a problem with any of that, because obviously it's a movie. You know, they don't have to do everything based off the game. They can spice it up a little bit and add some of their own things, which they did do, and they done it well. So all in all, I thought it was a good movie. You know, it wasn't just, yeah, it's a solid movie. It was a good movie. It was entertaining. It was funny. The acting was, I guess it was good. You know, they just kind of had to act really goofy and like they were in a video game. I just want to mention before we go, there was also another pretty cool cameo, I guess you could say. Well, there was two. One of them was Dan TDM. He was one of the guys bidding on this kind of storage. I used to watch him a lot when I was younger, so that was a very cool cameo to see. And as some of you may know, a famous YouTuber, Technoblade, who was known for playing Minecraft, passed away due to cancer. And his Minecraft skin was a pig, like it was like a king pig, it had a crown on. And there is a scene in the movie where a pig with a crown on walks by, and Henry says, what, is he the king? And then Jack Black says, no, it's a legend, because Technoblade is a Minecraft YouTuber legend. So I thought that was a very cool and wholesome cameo as well. Anyway, that's it. There's nothing else to say. Bye-bye.